Comic book collecting can seem expensive, but with the right approach, you can still enjoy it without breaking the bank. I'm going to give you a couple of lesser known tips on how you can start collecting on a budget. Tip number one. If you are brand new to comics and you don't really know where to jump in, I would recommend you find an interest. So if you like horror movies, sci-fi, action, all those different sort of things, find that and start there. Once you find what you're interested in, then you can start going to comic book stores or shopping online. And the best thing to do to save your money is to start with the dollar bin. Now, a lot of comic book stores will have dollar bins, and these are just random comics that are $1 or less. This is a great place to go if you're just new to comic book collecting, or you just want to start reading comic books without going to buy the brand new issue that just came out last Wednesday and you have no idea what the story is. You're jumping in and you're so confused. Just find something that you like in the dollar bin. I remember the first time that I ever bought a comic out of a dollar bin. It was from a shop that's no longer open anymore, unfortunately. So I was talking to the shop owner and he was like, go to the dollar bin and find a Batman comic with a cover you really like and pick up that one. So I was kind of confused, so I went through and I snagged this one. I thought this one was always really cool just because Batman's revealing his identity to somebody, and I was like, why would he do that? So I read this one and I picked it up for $1. Now, if you're in this to sell your comics, if you're not interested in collecting and reading and you just want to try and flip comics, then the dollar bin is also a great place to start because you can find dollar comics that may be undervalued. They could be, $3 to $5 comics. Don't go in there expecting to find Amazing Spider-Man 50 or anything like that, but you're going to be finding some, quick flips, in other words, if you're interested in reselling. Tip number 2 is to start slow. Don't collect a whole run all at one time. Find the pieces as you go and as your money allows, because if you go out and you start buying a bunch of comics and you have no clue where to start and what you're doing, you're just buying random comics at that point, and that's not the point. You want to have fun and you want to love what you're collecting, so go out and be intentional about it and don't overspend. Bonus tip, if you're just starting your comic book collection and you're just wanting to read a certain storyline and you don't want to break the bank, don't go out and buy single issues. Get a trade paperback version of that story arc. So for example, this one is The Court of Owls from the New 52, one of my personal favorite Batman story arcs. And getting the trade paperback version collects all of the issues that are in that story arc, and you don't have to pay $5 each. You can just pay one price and have them all right here for you. Tip number 3, if you're having a hard time finding your comics in a local comic book shop, there's always things like eBay, Whatnot, Facebook Marketplace, things like that you can go on and find those comics that you're missing from your collection. Facebook Marketplace, I found, is a really great place to find people that are just selling their collections and maybe will offer to give you, 10 comics at $1, so check that out. Pro tip, if you want to set a price alert on a key comic that you're looking for, you can do that on eBay. Be patient and play the long game. Just because you find that Amazing Spider-Man issue you've been looking for, or that Batman, or name your character, whoever it may be, just because you find it right then does not mean you have to pick it up right then. Don't be subjected to FOMO or fear of missing out, because that is the quickest way that you're going to break your bank. Set a monthly budget and stick to it. By doing this and playing the long game, you're better off not hurting your bank, and you're better off enjoying the experience of going out and hunting those comics. All right, last thing is the bonus tip, which is consider grading and reselling. I talked a little bit about reselling earlier with the dollar bin, but grading your comic books can give them more value. Not every comic book is worth getting a grade, and most comics you need a 9.8, especially modern comics, to really make your investment worthwhile. But if it's something that you're willing to invest the time in and a little bit of money, because it does cost to grade your comics, then that is something that you can do as well and then resell them. So if you're new to collecting comic books, or you're just trying to get into the hobby, let me know down below what you're interested in collecting and let's start a conversation. And for those of you that have been collecting for a long time, let me know if you have any additional tips that can help anybody else that watches this video. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time on Fresh Start Comics.